Welcome to the Deuce Cast Extra Star Wars Celebration Hype Edition. Really only because I didn't want to take a week off. I mean, we're like what 72 hours, maybe a little bit more away from Obi-Wan. 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. It's
Yeah,
crazy. It's crazy. I would have never thought in a million years that we would have actually gotten an Obi-Wan show, and I'm pretty hyped for that. Uh, I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. Roth, what's up, buddy? Roth, I don't know. Have you been to a celebration? I don't know if Roth has been to one. Let us know in the chat. We're gonna talk celebration a little bit later. Oh, he's not gonna finish his Rebels rewatch in time. Uh-oh. That's not good.
I'm in mid-season 3 right now, so
yeah, that's tough. I mean, to get through that before a series starts. But Garrison, how's it been going? Hype train.
It's been going good. Yeah, I'm excited about all the shows and movies coming up.
Oh man,
this summer there's a lot of them. Not just Kenobi, but Kenobi's also a huge one.
Yes, it is a huge one.
A lot this weekend, though. I mean, Top Gun, Kenobi, Stranger Things.
Dude, yeah, this weekend is a little bit too stacked, in all honesty.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, luckily I'm getting to see Top Gun on Thursday, so that's good, because then that will leave Friday completely clear for Obi-Wan. I'll probably catch Stranger Things over the weekend. Now, I'm frustrated with Stranger Things a little bit, and we can talk about this.
The runtimes?
Yeah, the runtimes, because it's going to be hard to binge that in a weekend.
That's good.
then release it episodically.
Well,
if you're gonna do that,
they are doing a 2-part, the first 7 and then
whatever
it is.
But if you're gonna have super long episodes like that, don't dump them all at once, because it's just gonna, at least for conversation's sake, it kind of like nobody ever really talks about Stranger Things as they're watching it, because you know that half the people that might be tuning in for something like that have already seen it. I mean, I don't know. Matt, what's up, buddy? It's been a minute since Matt's been on the Deucecast Extra live stream. Welcome back, dude.
Batman? I don't
think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was like the one person that was on the Batman. I do remember that. That was pretty funny. Because everybody was in the chat. So yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see them, at least maybe for the ones that are over an hour, like hold those back. Do the Amazon and Hulu model, which is 3 episodes and then episodic after that.
Yeah, but they're not doing it, Mikey.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying it'd be awesome if they went to that model.
I believe they do have a 5th and final season coming up, which these runtimes would indicate to me a final season, but it's not, apparently.
No, they haven't got.
So 5, maybe with their 5th and final season, they can do that kind of thing. But
well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, based upon their lack of subscriber, or not necessarily lack of, but just low numbers on what their anticipated subscriber base would be. Maybe they need to change it up.
Well, here's the thing: if you keep people going weekly, you keep them subscribed longer. I know a lot of people that just subscribe to Netflix for a month to just watch Stranger Things or just watch some new big show.
Yeah.
And then cancel immediately. But if you spread out those 9, that's 9 weeks. That's 2 months of payments to Netflix. Come on, this is just easy business sense.
Right. Well, and Netflix.
It's why, and now they're doing the split seasons. I know, so they're sort of doing that. But the thing is, now I just do one in May and then one in July, and I don't know.
You would think that they'd find a way to keep that from happening, like people doing that, but I guess they don't have a way to police something like that, like or care really. I mean but they apparently do care.
They're going to start caring soon.
They're going to start caring if you share your subscription.
Yeah,
is kind of the way that they're going to go. But
Kenobi's a Wednesday show, Matt, but it's going to start on Friday. As confusing as that may be,
it is very confusing.
I believe Bad Batch did the similar thing.
Yes, they did.
It started on like a Tuesday and it was a Friday show, right?
Yeah. I think that they're doing that for the sake of the Celebration people, in all honesty, because I believe that they're having some type of screening. We don't have our Celebration expert on here yet. I'm hoping that he can show up, but we'll see if he shows up. But I do believe that that's why they did that. They had it ready for Wednesday. They were going to do it Wednesday, but for the sake of the Celebration people that were flying in on Wednesday, they wanted to have like a special screening for them on Friday, I guess, which that would be fun to see that with a room full of people, a room
How many
full of Star
overflow
Wars.
theaters are they going to have?
All of them. That they'll use every single one. I mean, and look, here's my thing with the whole overthrow theater. Or well, let's talk about before we jump into Celebration too much. We've got to mention the two super huge trailers that came out this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do the normal like watch the trailer and comment over the trailer thing, because Thor was the second trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I like the tone of it. I don't know. It's hard to tell.
I just don't think it's a well put together trailer. I think the movie could still be really good.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is trying to capture Waititi's ranging tone, which he always has a bunch of different conflicting tones in his films. But it tends to work a lot of the time. I think trying to capture that within a trailer is kind of tough. And I don't think it worked in this one. I think the first one worked a lot better. The teaser worked a lot better.
Oh, yeah. See, I liked the teaser.
Yeah.
But
we'll see. I like I don't know if you just said it just then, but I really like Gore. I know we both are in agreement about Gore.
Christian Bale. He looked good. Yeah, everything about Gore looked good. Yeah,
he looks pretty much nothing like his comic counterpart, which people will complain about that. But
I mean, what can you do?
I thought he looked good for the film. Yeah. I'm interested to see how they tackle the fact that he has a symbiote in the comics. Maybe they just won't say symbiote; it'll just have like a black goo with him, but anyway.
My favorite meme so far out of that trailer is that the Grand Inquisitor. No, the Grand Inquisitor looks good.
Oh.
Because of all the nonsense about how the Grand Inquisitor didn't look great in that first Obi-Wan trailer. Everybody was joking that Gore was the Grand Inquisitor and he looked pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it's a couple things that I didn't like because Gore I liked. I mean, the humor, there was a couple moments of humor that I thought were fine. I don't know how I feel about Jane as Mighty Thor. I don't know.
It feels like they have to go with the cancer storyline because first off, I mean,
yeah, oh sure.
Every actor loves a good death scene.
Yes, of course.
And if you could put her off on a high note where she's a hero and she gets the death scene in this tragic but also heroic movie, especially with all the conflicting tones that Waititi will bring with it, it could really work.
Yeah,
but they're obviously not hinting at it in the trailer, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a lot of comments about this, that it was just a bit weird. But
I thought I don't know whether I want it to be censored in theaters or not.
I hope it's censored personally.
the censored pixelation, because that is both funny and also I don't know.
It is weird. I mean, it'd be weird if it was in the movie. It would almost be like you were watching something like Chippendale Rescue Rangers, where they are just
it's very meta,
out there.
Yeah.
So the other trailer, which I liked much more, was of course the new Mission Impossible film, which is called what again?
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. Dude, I mean,
yes,
that trailer was fantastic.
Yes. And it's really just like a mood piece. They didn't include any audio from the film except for Kittredge's dialogue.
Yeah, he had
dialogue.
Had a dialogue, yeah.
And I'm sure that's because they haven't done sound mixing for some of that stuff.
Right. Yeah, that movie doesn't come out till next summer, so yeah.
Yeah, till July 23.
Yeah.
But they showed off a lot of cool action. I loved apparently Lauren Balfe did the actual score for the trailer. That was put out there by the Mission Impossible podcast guys, the Light the Fuse guys.
Different. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, Light the Fuse.
Yeah. So I really liked the building of the music in that trailer. I think it hits really hard at the end. And yes, Tom Cruise is just unreal. And he will continue to show that off in the Mission Impossible movies until he dies. Now, I do think Dead Reckoning Part 2 will probably be his last Mission Impossible movie. But
Yeah, no, I think, and haven't he kind of announced that, didn't he? I mean,
I
in a
think it's
way.
supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that that's kind of like the idea. I thought Haley Atwell looked fantastic. I
Of
mean,
well, of course.
she well, I mean, yeah, for like action stuff, I'm not 100% sure, but I mean, she looked great um in Doctor Strange doing action
Mhm.
stuff. So, yeah, I mean, she looked, but it looks like everybody is
I
coming
don't
back for this
I
thing.
don't know how much action she's going to be doing. I don't know much about her character, but I do know that she is well, you see it in the trailer, but
Right.
the set photo showed her handcuffed to Tom Cruise a lot of the time she was on set. So
Yeah.
I do wonder if she's not a field agent but something else, you know. I'm very interested in her role
And
because we didn't really get a lot about it.
there's nothing better than a car chase scene with small cars.
Yes.
Like, I love just the concept. Very Italian job, obviously,
Yes.
but I
As I say,
mean, yeah,
they're
it,
using almost Italian looking cars, but
yeah. I mean, I love all of that stuff. Kittredge coming back, it's gonna be great. I mean, that's
Carrie Elwes is in the trailer.
I saw
Uh,
that. That was
yeah, he's in the
interesting.
film.
We don't know what his role is, do we?
I think his name's out there
Okay,
on what's his name's Instagram,
yeah.
McQuarrie's Instagram, but yeah, I
So
don't.
Sean Harris's character's dead, right?
He got killed in Fallout, I
He
think.
got killed in Fallout, so he won't be back, obviously, because I loved that character. We got to see
Rebecca Ferguson, by the way. Yes, she
Vanessa
looks great.
Kirby. She's back.
Yes,
That was good to see her character come back because she is in canon. Is she? Wait, no, I just got her mixed up with Fast
she's
and the
the
Furious.
daughter of the lady from the first film that kidnaps
Yes,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise or
For,
whatever, puts him in
like
the bag.
what flashed in my brain is like, oh, she's Jason Statham's sister, but that's in the Fast and the Furious,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
they
yeah.
just need to cross all that over. I mean, they just
No,
need
no, they don't.
the Fast and the
Fast and
Furious
the
Mission
Furious to me has
Impossible.
always been low rent Mission Impossible, like
Yeah, yeah.
low
No,
brow Mission
no,
Impossible.
you're right. I mean, no, very, very much. Yeah, very much so. Um, so yeah, that was a fantastic trailer. Was there any other things
I
you
don't.
wanted to mention on that trailer?
I just want to know why Rebecca Ferguson has an eye patch in one scene because she
I
doesn't
saw
early
that.
on in the film clearly,
Yeah,
but later, clearly she does.
she must lose an eye or
Mm.
something. I don't know. So Star Wars Celebration.
Hmm.
How many have you been to?
I've been to 3. They
So
were
that's a
all in
lot.
Orlando.
That's a lot.
Hmm.
Did you go all weekend to all 3 of those?
So no,
Okay.
we definitely went all weekend to Celebration Orlando in 2017.
Yep.
I feel really bad not remembering how many days we went for the 2012
Oh, dude,
one,
I won't be able to remember everything.
but
Now,
we only went like 1 or 2 to Celebration 5, and that was on purpose because we didn't really know what we were doing there, and we just were like, okay, let's go to
yeah.
Celebration. And it was our first celebration, and it was an interesting experience.
Oh, yeah. So I've been to let's see. I went to the 2 in Indianapolis. There was one at the Los Angeles Convention Center that I went to, and that's where I snapped a picture with J.J. Abrams, as he was just hanging out. He was there with his kids, just hanging out on the show floor.
Hmm.
And so my brother-in-law and I saw him, and we were like, can we have a picture with you? Stupidly didn't get his autograph, but I'm not much of an autograph guy anyways. I'm more of like, I'd love to get a picture with you. And he was really nice, snapped a picture. The moment has been memorialized in Star Wars Insider. I can't tell you which edition. You would think I would have that memorized, but I sent them the picture, and it was, of course, during Force Awakens. They were asking for like any J.J. Abrams stuff during Force Awakens. So I sent him that picture, and this was right when it had been announced that he was directing Star Trek '09.
Hmm.
So he had finished Mission Impossible 3, obviously, and had not really. I don't know if Super 8 had come out yet. Was Super 8 after '09 Star Trek? I think so.
That's a good question.
I
I
can't
guess I could
remember
look
which
that
one
up.
came first.
2011.
Okay, so obviously Star Trek '09 came first then. So
Yes.
it had just been announced, and I think we were, stupid fans. we said something stupid like, "Oh, we're so excited for your Star Trek," or something like that. But it was cool to get it. Obviously, really short dude, super short guy, but he was really nice, really kind to even like bother taking a picture with us. I don't know how many people probably stopped him during that convention of him just walking around the show floor. But that has to be like as far as celebration moments, because I'm sure everybody has one, like something they remember really fondly. That's got to be like top 5 for me is taking a picture with J.J. Abrams. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that for me. But as far as like favorite panel moments, and this one is more sentimental than, oh, this is cool that I got to see a panel with George Lucas, because I got to do that at one of the Indianapolis ones. We stood in line overnight, slept on the hard floor outside of the convention center overnight to get to see a George Lucas panel. It was amazing. It was awesome. But the one I think that was more sentimental for us was at one of the ones in Orlando. I'm not good with years. I can't remember which one it was in Orlando, but George Lucas was not announced to be there. He wasn't supposed to be there. And we were just going to a Clone Wars panel. It was me, my dad, and my father-in-law. So it was just us 3. And I think we were only going one day for this one. And it was a Clone Wars panel, and Filoni was out there, and just randomly George Lucas walks out on stage, and the room just like erupted with like everybody stood up. It was like, and so just the sentimentality of being there, like with my dad, who obviously he was the one that I would watch Star Wars with the first time as a kid, and with my father-in-law, who, you know, I've his love of movies is kind of like different than mine in the sense that he's seen all the old black and white stuff. Like, he has seen, his love of movies is more like the old stuff, and he'll watch the new stuff every once in a while, but he doesn't watch everything. He'll watch Marvel movies and stuff like that, and Star Wars, obviously, but it just was like nobody knew that Lucas was going to be there. And for my father-in-law to get to see him the one time he ever came to Celebration, and he's like, I'm never going to come to one of these again. He just happened to be there when George Lucas came out on stage. It was freaking amazing. And I can't remember, like, there was another panel. Oh yeah, the Detours panel.
Oh, well, okay.
Oh, go ahead.
But that's mine.
The Detours panel?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that you were there that year. Okay,
I got in
awesome.
line for the Detours panel. This is Celebration 6.
Yes, okay.
2012. I was young. I was like,
yeah, you were a kid.
Sophomore year of high school for me.
Yeah.
And I went in line by myself because Dad was doing something. He was meeting up with somebody else, and then he was going to meet me at the panel, and we were going to sit together. And I was like in the balcony area, and there were tons of seats open.
Yeah, because it was the Detours panel.
Yeah, it was the Detours panel. Yeah, correct. And I wanted to see what Seth Green was going to say about the Detours panel. And and I remember, first off, Dad had to like haggle to get in because they're like, it's closed, and he's like, well, my son's in there.
Yeah.
And he actually was able to get in and be there, but George just shows up on stage all of a sudden, and it's like,
dude, I was in that panel too, and it was just, yeah. It wasn't that just like the most random thing.
Yes.
Because it's just like, why is he coming on the Detours panel? I mean,
especially, it's even funnier now, 10 years later.
Yeah.
Because Detours is it's still not out.
It's only an internet dream at this point.
It's an internet fever dream at this point.
We occasionally get to see snippets of content from it, but it's just like, yeah, I mean,
it's like the Snyder Cut, except nobody really campaigns for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that was a particularly strange celebration because Lucas wasn't announced to even be there.
And it was very close to the announcement of the sequel trilogy.
Yeah. Well, okay, so timeline wise,
it's August 2012.
Yeah, so Disney bought in 2012, would have been October 2012?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So October 2012 is when that all happened. And so, yeah, that was really close to, that's strange to think about all that.
And I think that's one of the reasons George was there. I think I've read that he sat down with Mark at that convention, Harrison and maybe somebody else, and
Ooh, I don't think
told them that
Harrison
they
was
were
there.
not here. Well, he sat down with some people who were going to be a part of the sequel trilogy that had
Yeah,
been a part of older films, and told them what they were planning on doing, just that they
yeah,
were going forward with a sequel trilogy and
yeah.
wanted them involved. And then, of course, he was not a part of that eventually. So,
No, no. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I think the only one that Harrison ever went to, and we were trying to figure this out before we started recording, was that one, the first one in Anaheim. So the Force Awakens celebration was the only one that I think Harrison Ford ever went to. He never went to any of the other celebrations that I'm aware of, that I can recall. And I don't even think he went to any international ones. There's been several international ones, and I don't think he ever went to any of those. Of course, Mark and Carrie went to quite a few, and that was another fun panel. Was, I think, Mark, Carrie, and Lucas were being interviewed by Jon Stewart.
Okay.
At one of the Orlando ones.
I remember Jon Stewart interview, and I was in an overflow for that.
Okay. That may have been that same year then. That may have been 2012 also that he was there. And that's the one where Carrie said something ridiculous about Jabba the Hutt and having relations with Jabba the Hutt or something. I mean, she was always a little uncouth on those panels, even though there was tons of children in the room. She was always a little raw when it came to those panels, which that's what people expect from her, and so that's what people love to hear, doing that stuff. This is this Roth's right. That was the same year that Lucas was on the stage and said that Obi-Wan was from the planet Stewjon, and Lucas made that not really canon, but he said that.
It's
not
G canon now, guys.
It's G canon.
I think that is one of the first panels I went to, by the way, was a Leland Chi panel.
Oh, nice.
Either during 5 or 6. It was one of the first panels I ever went to.
Yeah, the Holocron Keeper. That was
and he talked about G canon and all that stuff.
Yeah, the G canon. I do have a picture with him as well, and it's funny because he carries around, I think, in his backpack or fanny pack or whatever he's wearing, a holocron. So if anybody stops and asks him for a picture, he gets that holocron out and poses with it while you're in the picture with him. I thought that was an interesting prop for him to just bring around. As, of course, you can have a picture with the holocron keeper. And he loves Hawaiian shirts because he was wearing a Hawaiian shirt when I took a picture with him. So that was fun. There's been so many, like, Celebration also is quite a bit become about meetups, like people meeting. I think the first time I met you and
events outside of Celebration, and
I think the first time I met you and your dad in person was at a podcast meetup of all things that was happening at the Indiana Jones thing, right? The bar, the Indiana Jones bar.
I guess. No, we met in the hotel at the podcast meetup for the RFR stuff.
Oh, yeah. But you guys ended up at Downtown Disney. At the time, it was called Downtown Disney, and we had dinner together.
We had dinner at, I think, the barbecue place there.
No, the hamburger place.
The hamburger,
it was 100% the hamburger place because
what's his name couldn't have hamburger. He had to have like a chicken. Tommy had to have
because
a chicken thing.
Yes, because Tommy, and it's unfortunate. I should have invited him to tell this story, but he got, this is the tick that you never want to get bit by, because it gives you an aversion to red meat for the rest of your life, and there's no way to cure it.
That's insane.
So I can't remember what tick that is, but he was he's really big into geocaching, and so he was out in the woods one day doing a geocache, and as happens when you're in the woods in the South, you're gonna get like ticks on you. No, it's not Lyme disease. It's something really rare. I mean, you'd have to look it up. It's a certain type of tick that gives you an aversion to red meat for the rest of your life. Basically, it's like the worst thing. It's something that I would not want to wish on anybody.
We were actually going to the Retros at meetup first, I think. where it wasn't. I don't think they were called Retros App at the time. Maybe not.
Oh yeah, I do remember
Where
that. There was that.
Joey,
Yeah, there was that Retros App.
I
No,
think
it
that
was
was
Retros App at the time.
pre-RFR. And at
Yeah.
the time we were walking to that, I heard your voice actually, and I turned to my dad. I was like, "Is that Michael from the Deucecast?"
That's hilarious. That's awesome. Yeah, I was there. That I remember that meetup because we did that. I didn't stay that long for that. The thing that I thought I remember meeting you guys at was at whatever that Indiana Jones bar is called, Jocks, or I
I
can't.
know that we probably went there, but I remember eating at that hamburger joint place, which I think is a different place. But
yeah. It's still there, and it's still got.
It was you, Dave, my dad, me.
Yep.
And Tommy,
your mom,
and maybe my mom.
Your mom and your dad. One of your dad's friends was there as well.
Oh, interesting. Who would that have been? Thomas, maybe?
I don't remember his name. But yeah, he was with you guys.
Yeah, Thomas goes to Celebration, so that would make sense.
Oh, I thought he had traveled with you guys.
I don't think so.
Okay, because I was under the impression that he was from Brunswick.
He is, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's why
traveled by himself.
Yes, this is it. This is exactly it. The Lone Star Tick, which
first thing I thought of was the Lone Star Tick. By the way, I've heard of that before.
Yeah, that is unfortunately not just in Texas though. That's also in Alabama, Georgia, probably Mississippi, all over the Southeast, basically. Another really fun, and I invited him, and I knew he wouldn't come, but when I say I invited him, I sent the link. And didn't tell him I was going to send him a link. So I doubt he'll.
That's not really inviting somebody.
It's not really inviting him. But so one year, and I don't think it was 2012. It may have been the first time it was in Orlando. Shaz Bazaar from Techno Retro Dads dressed up as oh gosh, his name just left my head.
You're talking about Clone Wars and Rebels guy.
Yeah, Clone Wars and Rebels guy. His name keeps leaving my head.
I can see his face.
Hondo Anaka.
Yes.
He dressed up as Hondo Anaka, and it looked legit.
Yes.
It
By
was
the way,
not.
Pretty sure he did that in 2017 as well.
Was that 2017?
No, I'm saying he probably did it in 2012, but he was definitely there in 2017 with that costume.
Yeah. So the costume had deteriorated quite a bit when he did it the second time. But the first time he did it is when he got to dance on stage as Hondo, and he was all over the place as Hondo. Yeah, dude. I mean, I've seen a lot of good cosplay. That's up there for me because he did. I mean, a lot of really. He apparently knew a guy that knew how to do plaster or something like that, and made a really good Hondo mask. That was a highlight, getting to see him dressed up as Hondo Anaka. And just, I don't know. The low points of any of those cons for me is standing in line for exclusives.
Yeah. The low points of those cons is standing in line.
Well, in general, but also knowing that you're missing a lot of panels, or just missing a lot of stuff. Just
you can never do everything you want to do.
No. I remember early on, this was kind of before my very first con was Celebration 2. I had not really been to. I think my dad, when I was a kid, may have taken me to some of those original Star Trek cons where it was just all Star Trek stuff, and you were just hoping. This was during the dark times. You were just hoping that some dude was maybe selling some Star Wars stuff there, because this was in the 90s. This may have been even before the Thrawn novels had come out, and the only cons that you could go to were Star Trek cons. I did get to see William Shatner one time at one of those.
A Trekker con?
Yeah, it was a Trekker con, because they don't like to be called Trekkies.
I learned that the other day.
They are Trekkers, which is the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, I always thought it was Trekkies, but oops.
Yeah, no, they want to be called Trekkers for whatever reason. So Celebration 2 was kind of as an adult, my first big con that I had even attempted to go to, and this was before Reed Pop was doing it. I can't even remember. It might have been Wizards of the Coast or something like that, because they used to throw a lot of cons, and you would think that they'd be organized and prepared,
Yeah.
I
By the way,
think
I dislike Reed Pop, but anyway, go on.
yeah, Reed Pop's got its issues, but I mean, they're apparently better than Comic-Con International, which I don't know if you heard about all the horrible lines and things that were going on at WonderCon this weekend.
No, but I remember the horrible lines in 2017.
Well, yeah, there were a lot. But Celebration 2 was all lines. So the exclusive figure that year was George Lucas as Commander George Sokol. So he's in an X-Wing outfit, and it's George Lucas dressed up as an X-Wing pilot. I'm looking at it right now. It's like the old blue background Hasbro standard figure, but this was like the first big exclusive because they really didn't have an exclusive in that at Celebration 1 in Denver. That wasn't a thing. They didn't realize, the popularity that exclusives were going to be. So they do this one, and I no lie, pretty much spent the first day in line waiting for that thing. I couldn't do anything like Dave and a couple other people. We took a pretty big group up there for Celebration 2, and we stayed at like a hotel that had like 3 or 4 rooms in it or something like that, and we just pulled our money together and all went. And yeah, it was they went off to do other things, and I'm like, we're not standing in line all day to get some exclusive. So I ended up with 2 of them. I only have 1 now though, because I gifted the second one to somebody. But yeah, the lines were, and Celebration 3 wasn't much better. They still hadn't gotten their act together. I mean, the exclusive for that one was a Darth Vader, and whatever company was doing it before Reed Pop was somehow worse than Reed Pop. They just couldn't figure out the whole Celebration store thing, which I think Reed Pop has worked that out a little bit better now, where you can, plan to be at a certain time in the store. You can get assigned a time to go to the Celebration store. So that whole process is a little smoother now. But man, those first couple celebrations that I went to, horrible process getting exclusives. And then one of them, of course, I had to wait in line for an itty bitty. But whatever. We don't have to get into all of that.
I remember they did Star Tots one year. Was that 2017?
Yeah, that's a thing every year, Star Tots, yeah.
Okay. We actually went to a panel, and we felt really bad because we went to a panel for Star Tots, but when the panel was over, the people at the, doing it was a packed house.
Yeah,
People in the panel were like, "Any questions?" And nobody got up because everybody in the room was waiting for Star Tots.
Oh my gosh. I see what you're saying. Like, part of the deal with, if you come to our panel, we'll give you something afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens in a lot of those panels.
They didn't get like any engagement in their panel.
That is hilarious. Oh my gosh. Did you ever go
like crocheting Star Wars characters or something? It was,
dude, look, I will tell you something. I want a crocheted Ahsoka. There is a crochet book out there that has an Ahsoka thing. I can't do it. I need to commission somebody to crochet me an Ahsoka. I don't know how to go. I'm sure like it's something I can get on Etsy or whatever, but I don't know. I tried to convince Nick to get one of his kids to crochet me an Ahsoka. But that didn't go over. He said his kids don't crochet, so it didn't work out.
I think my favorite moment of Celebration 2017 was when the RFR guys they went to the Smugglers Run panel.
Yes,
the radio show thing.
I was there.
And then they got singled out to be asked to be on stage.
Yes, I was in that room.
And then politely declined.
Yeah,
anyway, we don't need to talk about the history of all that.
But yeah, there's a lot of history behind all of that. But
pretty funny moment.
I skipped a pretty big panel because I knew in my mind that this would be close to, like, I plan on going to a celebration again. I don't know when I'll get to go to one, but in my mind, I knew that this was probably the last time Kyle Newman was going to get to do one of his radio dramas. I just didn't feel like that would be something that Disney Lucasfilm would necessarily allow to keep happening.
Yeah.
And so there was a pretty big panel. Sad. which is sad. Yeah, there was a pretty big panel going on at the same time that everybody else that was with me went to. I
Yeah.
can't remember. It was one of the big Star Wars actors
I
was doing.
remember that.
Yeah,
We
was doing.
went.
It may have been Ian McDermott.
May
May
have
have
been.
been. Yeah, I
We
think it
went
was actually.
to it because Dad wanted to see one of these shows.
Well, see, I had seen all of them except for obviously the time they did it in Anaheim the first time, because I think they did it during the Force Awakens. Oh wait, no, that would have been 2019. I don't know.
No, Force Awakens would have been 2015.
2015. Yeah, so I think he did do one in Anaheim, but I don't remember what that one was called. There was like Smuggler's Run, Smuggler's Den, Smuggler's something or other. I don't know. There was 3 of them total, and so I got to see most of them. I was going to say something a second ago. The there was a Billy D panel one year in Indianapolis when he was still like, not that he's not with it now, but he was still like a bit more like talkative, a bit more active back in like 2002 when, you know, those early celebrations were happening.
He's just vomiting up lines.
Yeah, exactly. And so those were fun, like just to get to hear him. Here we go, Roth. Yeah, Run, Gambit, and Bounty. Smuggler's Run, Gambit, and Bounty. Okay, yeah. They were all good. So Gambit would have been the one that would have been Force Awakens 2015 that I did not get to see because he did that in Anaheim, obviously. I had tickets to that one, but we ended up having our second child that year. So I could not go. So I sent my brother-in-law, and I think he took his dad. I can't remember. I just remember living vicariously through Matt as he was in Anaheim. But, and we'll talk about this in a second, that's kind of like the first time they did a live stream. It was brought to you by Verizon Wireless, and it actually was pretty good. They didn't necessarily show everything, and they're going to do that again this year. I'm trying to stall as long as possible because Nick has said that he is coming on here, but I haven't had it. I'm trying to stall and see if he actually makes it on, just because he's actually going to be in Anaheim. He's flying on a plane tomorrow morning, heading to his second. I think he said this is his second time going to a celebration, but this is his first time going the whole week, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday. I can't remember if he said he's going Sunday. Sunday, in all honesty, not much happens on Sundays. The closing ceremonies are always a big letdown, but
yeah. We just go to the floor and
yeah. I mean,
because then people will sometimes start doing deals on their stuff.
No, you're right. And that year, remember when this was unfortunately after Carrie Fisher had died, and they were giving out those posters of Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
There was guys on the floor that would give you a lot of money for those posters. Just give you cash straight up for those posters. And I think I remember doing it because I do not have one of those posters, and I had one for a moment because I went to that panel.
Yeah.
Or I was in one of the annex rooms, and they were still giving them out to everybody. And this was, when Billy Lord came up and did that speech. And this was also when I want to say John Williams was there conducting, if I'm not mistaken. I thought that was 2017. I could be wrong.
I'm
But
sorry.
you weren't there. You weren't there the whole time, were you?
We were there the whole time for 2017. Yeah.
Oh, you were? Okay.
But I don't know. There's a lot of other stuff I remember from that thing.
Yeah. But
I remember crowding around the we crowded around the place where they do the main show. You know what I'm talking about? The little stage they do the main show.
Oh yeah. Where they would do a lot of the streaming shows.
Yeah. To watch the trailer there. Because we couldn't get into an overflow. We couldn't even get to the overflow stuff because it was so. We got there early, and it was still, the line was way out the dang place.
The one funny thing about the 2017 one, so this was when myself, Dave, and producer Tommy, who is not really the producer anymore, but at the time was producer. We went together, and this is when CTI was kind of big. and this is when we had just started, and we still called ourselves Card Trader Illuminati, because we were actually pretty much every week talking about the Topps digital Star Wars app. That was kind of like what the crux of the podcast was.
I mean, it's still kind of what the crux.
I don't know. Not really. But so we actually had the dumbest swag I have ever, or this was all Tommy's idea. He drew pictures of manatees, like just drew like really dumb pictures, because there's this whole manatee thing that we had. So he drew pictures of manatees on Post-its and handed them out to people. And some people were kind of excited to get them, but and there was a Topps card meetup, so we got to meet like a couple of the people that worked for Topps. This is more accurate right here. This is much more accurate. There is no crux of CTI.
Rhett is the crux of CTI.
Yeah, that's true. But it was just a funny, because that's a big thing with a lot of these podcasts that go, is they always want to have swag to hang out to people.
Yeah,
just different like stickers, buttons,
yes,
whatever. I mean, that's just kind of a big deal. I remember getting, when Techno Retro Dads with Jedi Schwa and Shaz was a big thing. Schwa had this like little button, a picture of him, or I don't know if it was supposed to be him, but it was somebody dressed as an X-Wing pilot. It was just his face with an X-Wing helmet on, and a little, like, for whatever reason, a green lightsaber like sticking out of the side of the pin, just like glued to the back of it. That was always fun. And then Mike McDonald, that he used to do the Sandcrawler podcast. He had an awesome item of swag that was like Jawa fur or something, like these little bags with like Jawa fur in them. I thought those were, I like the unique items that are swag.
One of my favorite things about Celebration, though, that is it's meeting the people.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
meeting the people
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
it's meeting you guys, but then I we met up with, and we know some of these people already,
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Riley Blanton and Bethany Blanton of the Star
Yep.
Wars Report.
Yep.
I think there was like a Wampus Layer thing that we met up with some of those guys.
Yeah.
We actually met up with Roku Depot. We met Roku Depot.
Oh, yeah. I remember that guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah. He doesn't do his thing anymore. He doesn't do podcast reviews anymore. He does novel reviews every once in a while.
Is that what he does now?
He's still, like, very rarely you'll see, like, on Twitter his name pop up, and it's because he's reviewed either a novel or a comic book, but he definitely stopped listening to all the podcasts.
That stinks.
Well,
Steve Glossons of the world, and your Shaz's, and I mean, there's a million more people I'm forgetting, but
funny thing about Glosson, like, this was before, like, I had met him in person at one of the Indianapolis, and he'd have to, like,
I think it's 2, isn't it?
Confirm this.
But I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, one of the, well, I mean, no, all I remember is that he is seeing a dude in a Geek Out Loud, big, like a red Geek Out Loud shirt. And that's all I didn't know the dude at that time.
Okay.
I really wasn't like listening to Geek Out Loud at that time. I started listening to it after that, but I mean, this was like, I just remember him in a big red Geek Out Loud t-shirt. Just, as you do, if you're going to go to, and if you got a podcast, you got to wear your stuff. I mean, I think I wore a Deucecast t-shirt one time. I wore a CTI t-shirt that's just a picture of a manatee, and it says @CTI_Illuminati on it. I mean, that's all the t-shirt is.
I don't know that Dad ever wore a My Star Wars Story shirt. That's a good question.
Does he have one? Is there a My Star Wars? I was going to say, I want that if there is one. I mean, that's like a rarity if you have a My Star Wars Story.
Be even more rare to get an episode.
It has become that way, yes. Didn't he release one last year, or was that this year?
I feel like he did last year, yeah. That's what I was going to say, Jacob. I thought he was going to mention being on one of the special features for one of the DVDs.
I mean, I recall
I feel like it would have been Celebration 2, so it may have been Attack of the Clones, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, Celebration 2 was in 2002, so that would have had to have been Attack of the Clones. No, that would have been Revenge of the Sith. Because Revenge of the Sith came out in
05.
05. Well, Yeah, I guess they were hyping Attack of the Clones at that time then. That kind of, because for a while it was like, we're going to have a celebration because a movie's coming out. That's kind of like what the whole deal was for a while.
Until you got to 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, until you got to 4 or 5. And then it was just like, because we're making gobs of money doing these, we're going to continue to do these. Yeah, I don't, it's been a long time since I have recalled this whole. So was he on what special feature was he in? I don't necessarily remember that.
I don't either. That's what I'm saying. I feel like it was okay. Well, Jacob
Oh,
thinks
Revenge of the
Revenge of
Sith.
the Sith one.
Okay,
so maybe it was Celebration 3 moment. I don't know.
Yeah, because those were both in Indianapolis. It was either Celebration 2 or 3 that it was like ridiculously cold. It was like it took place in April. Ridiculous. Like,
I've heard about that.
It was freezing, and they made you. They made you. Am I still on?
Yes.
Okay. My screen just went blank. That's exciting. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm just going to continue to talk even though I can't see anything right now. Okay, good. I'm back. I guess my screensaver came on. Okay, look, we're here. I don't know when Nick's coming on. I don't know if he's coming on. We're here to kind of talk about
pulling an all-nighter until Nick gets on.
No, we're not going to do that. Let's talk about like a couple of the cool thing about this year's celebration is they are going to stream it. So for those of us that can't make it, this year it's sponsored by Geico, and they're going to stream it. And I have really enjoyed the way that they are covering it. So even if you don't get to see the panels live, they'll have people that participated in the panels do interviews on the main stage, like on the stage they build out in the show floor, basically. And it's almost like you're watching a like the Tonight Show or something, where people are just constantly coming on doing interviews, and it's fresh content like throughout the day, and they usually start it like at 11 a.m. Pacific, and it really pretty much runs for most of the day, and different things are happening. They're going to be doing some panels on there. Thursday, the Galaxy stage, which I believe is like the main.
I was about to say, it sounds like the main stage.
Well, the celebration stage is the main stage, but
right.
What they're doing is they are live streaming a lot of it on different stages, like overflow rooms and stuff like that. But the first really big panel, which is going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific on Thursday, is what they're just calling the live action
Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilm live action or whatever. Lucasfilm's Studio Showcase. Oh, fancy. But they're basically going to be talking about the live action filmmakers are going to be coming out. So I'm sure that's Filoni, Favreau, maybe Deborah Chow, I would guess.
Maybe.
Who is doing maybe?
Whoever's doing Ahsoka. That's shooting right now, so that would probably be a video.
Who is Filoni doing that by himself?
Filoni's. I'm pretty confident Filoni is directing at least one of the episodes. Not two. I think I heard two. But it's probably going to be a rotation like the other shows.
So they're going to have people. Oh, and Andor, who I can't. I doubt that Gilroy is going to be there. That he does not seem the type of dude that would show up to a celebration. But
remember when you guys made some other guy reshoot? No.
I mean, yeah, Gilroy.
He was the one who reshot Rogue One, wasn't he?
So he's the one in the infamous interview. I can't remember if it was a written interview that he did with like Vanity Fair or if it was caught on some YouTube thing. The infamous interview where he said that without him, that movie would never have gotten done, or never have gotten made or whatever. And he like saved the movie and basically like didn't necessarily throw Gareth Edwards under the bus, but he pretty much claimed that without him, Rogue One would not be what Rogue One is today. Which is an interesting take for just, I don't know.
I think the fact that he was hired onto Andor to direct it makes me feel like Lucasfilm also believes he did something very good with Rogue One.
Well, it's interesting because he's just the EP. He was supposed to direct.
Oh, that's right.
But because of COVID and everything, he didn't want to go overseas.
They
Yeah.
wanted him to direct it, so that
Yeah.
tells me
Yeah,
there's
exactly. Yeah,
something there.
yeah, he saved it.
Yeah,
Exactly. He
and I don't,
saved Rogue
I'm not
One.
saying he saved the film totally, but I think he
No.
probably had a hand in something because
He
Lucasfilm
he
seems to like him.
yeah, Lucas, even though he's a cocky guy, I mean, Lucasfilm seems to like him. Anyways, I doubt he's showing up. I would be super surprised if he was there for Andor, but maybe that's like part of his thing, like part of his contract. He has to be there. And
Maybe we'll get
so
Diego Luna.
yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, so it's going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, Mandalorian. So we'll get this is just it says the filmmakers will be joined by special guests. So yeah, maybe some of the actors will
Mm-hmm.
show up.
Some. You don't promise all of them because
yeah, you don't promise all of them, but
I'd be very willing to. I mean, Hayden showed up for the first time at Celebration Orlando 2017. I remember that.
Yeah.
I would be willing to bet he'll be at this one as well.
Oh yeah, no, I totally am with you on that. I think he'll be there as well. Trying to see if there's any. There's not really an easy way to look. Okay, so Studio Showcase is streaming. Ooh, there's a lot that's not streaming though.
Well,
Couple of
there's always going to
interesting
be a ton
ones.
of panels. That's the...
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a ton of panels. I really would love to see. I like this idea of this panel. Unfortunately, it's not streaming, but Attack of the Chords, the music of episode 2 with David W. Collins.
Awesome.
Yeah, and David W. Collins does well. Back in the day, he did a show with Jimmy Mack of RFR that was really great, just about the Star Wars soundtracks.
Yeah.
Now he does the soundtrack show, which he says is coming back at some point, where he actually takes movie soundtracks and goes over those. He's a composer.
Yes.
He's really great.
He did a panel on at Celebration 2017 in Orlando about the music of Rogue One, and it was fantastic panel. It was fantastic. I've got some pictures I took of the sheet music on the screen, so I was just like, I'm saving that for later.
So here's what's interesting about Thursday. It seems like, just as I'm scrolling through, that is actually the only panel that's streaming on Thursday as I scroll all the way through this to the very bottom. But like I said, what'll happen is, say Ian McDermott does a panel. Well, that's great. He'll do his panel, but then he'll come out on the Celebration stage that's built on the floor and do interviews and stuff. So, I mean, that I almost like that a little bit better than having to sit through and watch the whole panel. I mean, because you get you get a snippet of stuff with Ian McDermott or somebody along those lines, and it makes it pretty good. So Friday, then, the big panel that it looks like they're going to be streaming on Friday is called Light and Magic, another 11 a.m. Pacific time panel. Be among the first in the world to get a sneak peek at the recently announced Disney Plus documentary series Light and Magic. Join us for an illuminating discussion panel featuring Lawrence Kasdan. I need to click and see who else is there, because that's a big name. Ron Howard, visual effects titans Dennis Muren, Phil Tippett, Joe Johnston, and Rose Dunnigan.
This is my kind of panel.
Llewellyn Brennan. Holy cow, that is a great panel right there. So
that's my kind of panel.
Yeah,
Phil Tippett as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. So that is also 11 a.m. That's Friday. That's 11 a.m. on this.
That's streamed?
Yeah, that's a streaming one.
Okay,
that's,
I just making sure.
Yeah. Wow. It looks like the 11 a.m. panels are the ones that they're going to stream, because what happens is it's live on the Celebration stage, but then they, have the Overflow stage, the Galaxy stage, and the Twin Suns stage where you can watch it on screens or whatever. And then they'll stream the panel itself for those of us that can't make it. Scrolling through very quickly as I can, just to see what else might be streaming. I wonder if they're only going to be streaming the 11 a.m. panels, because it seems like those are the huge panels. Oh, nope, here's another one. Oh, this is great. Star Wars Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary celebration. The Shroud of the Dark Side has fallen. Join us as we celebrate the 20th anniversary of Star Wars Attack of the Clones, the movie that not only introduced a lightsaber-wielding Yoda, but a coming-of-age... I need to learn to click on these things so we can see who's actually going to be there. It just says special guests and behind-the-scenes content will be revealed in this can't-miss commemoration of the 2002 epic. So that is streamed. That's at 2 p.m. Pacific on Friday. So that's cool. That's an awesome panel to be streaming. What else is streaming? I mean, obviously this is stuff anybody can look up, but I at
Yes.
least wanted to look through this stuff and see what cool panels. Okay, so those look to be the only two that they're streaming on Friday. So we'll just very quickly, let's go to Saturday and see what the big 11 o'clock panel is at least. Not streamed, but there is a big panel at 11 o'clock. Mando Plus, a conversation with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Unfortunately, not being streamed.
Dang. Whoever's in there will tweet out if there's ever any.
Oh wait,
news,
never mind. No, it is being streamed.
Oh,
they just didn't. They missed it on one because they basically have streaming in parentheses, and they missed it completely. But no, it says it is being streamed. I'm sorry. So yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be
again for these things though that aren't being streamed. If there's information that comes out of that stuff, it'll get out there.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I mean, and in fact, there'll be people like probably filming it and they're not supposed to be filming it. And that type of thing. So I'm very quickly scrolling through to see if there's anything else streaming on Saturday. Tales of the Jedi. Okay, so let's check this out. That's okay. So Tales of the Jedi is a show that was announced a while back, and it's an animated show. So this is
kind of recently.
Yeah. Well, what it was is there was a, you know how they do those kind of like CinemaCon or whatever. Somebody took a picture of something that had a Tales of the Jedi logo on it. And this was like well before it was announced, and nobody really like knew exactly what they were talking about. So this is going to be an animated anthology of shorts. The panel will have Dave Filoni, so I guess he's involved. I mean, anything animated, Dave Filoni is probably involved.
Except for Resistance.
Except for well, he was EP.
Was he?
His name was on there as EP, yeah, for Resistance. So that's cool. That is at 2:30 Pacific on Saturday. So that's a not to be missed panel. At least talking about like the new animated. It's not going to be like Visions. I think it's going to have a different type of animation. It's not going to be it's not going to be anime basically.
Visions is just those studios doing their thing in the Star Wars universe, which is cool.
Which they did announce that there is a Visions season 2 coming. So I mean that is confirmed that we're going to be getting that. So that's the only two panels that are on Saturday that are going to be streaming. Or did I only say one? No, the Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni one, and then the Tales of the Jedi one. And that's on Saturday. And then let's go over this last day. Why not? Sunday, the big panel that will be streamed is the big announcement of Star Wars: The Bad Batch Season 2.
Whenever that comes.
Yeah, Brad Rao, who is the executive producer and supervising director, he was of Season 1, so obviously he's coming back as Season 2, so he will be there to discuss. And I'm sure some of like maybe the voice actors, it would be cool to see the voice actors. There's only a couple, obviously, but it would be fun to see them on stage as well. So we get some Bad Batch Season 2 announcements there. I am seeing if there is anything else streaming on.
We're definitely getting a lot of Star Wars news this weekend. So.
Oh yeah, no, this is big. I mean, and in all honesty, at least this year,
this isn't like Disney Plus Day, guys.
No, this is going to be a lot of for whatever reason they are streaming the closing ceremony. That's going to be at 2:30. I'm sorry, 3:30 Pacific on that Sunday. So that'll be interesting. What they used to do on these closing ceremonies is announce where the next celebration is.
Yeah, so I remember that. Yeah.
The hope, at least for me, is that because they had to wait a couple years to even do this one, that they'll go ahead and have another one next year, and that it's going to be in Orlando. That's my hope. We'll see.
That is, I mean, also our hope. So
there's no reason that they can't jump from coast to coast on these. Oh jeez. Here we go. How did you find out we were even doing this, Rhett?
My eyes went wide a second ago because I looked. There's 4 people watching. I was like, "Oh no, who's not commenting?"
I didn't tell Rhett we were doing this. How'd he find out? No, but runs out. Star Wars is dead, and then that's not runs out. He just comes in real quick, drops that, and then runs out. So yeah, I mean, they'll probably use the closing ceremonies to announce like where the next one's going to be.
Yeah.
Now Rhett is somebody that has said, I'm your subscriber. Rhett is somebody that has said he's always wanted to go to a celebration, but he's just never pulled the trigger on it. He's never actually come. So maybe if there's one in Orlando next year, we could talk Rhett into showing up for a celebration. That would be quite a celebration.
Like, why not one in Wyoming?
Roth, you just need to fly out next year. If it's in Orlando, just fly out. We'll all figure out. Look, we'll have a Deucecast villa somewhere, and we'll just like hang out at the Deuce. That's where everybody will throw their sleeping bags on the ground and just use that for a place just to sleep, because you really don't sleep during these things because there's so many different events going on. It's not something that that anybody sleeps on. But I'm certainly looking forward to watching it on the streaming. I'll have a chance to watch most of it. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty busy Friday and Saturday, so I'll see if I can watch a lot of Thursdays. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy.
I'll watch the good thing is it'll be on. It's streaming live on YouTube, so you can always just scroll back. Yeah, it'll be archived automatically, so you can just scroll back and see. Roth knows what's up. He's going to come if we go. So we'll look. If it's in Orlando, I will find a way, my friend. There will be no doubt in my mind that I will go. So, I mean, obviously, this was a kind of an odd Deucecast extra that we went over an hour.
Yes.
Gosh, my bad. And you told me earlier that you have to get up at 4 a.m. and yet I kept you.
I'll adjust it to 4:45. It's fine.
My bad, dude.
No, you're fine.
We will be back next Tuesday with a normal format of the Deucecast Extra because we have Kenobi. Good grief. The first 2 episodes will be airing this coming Friday, and therefore we'll have 2 hours of Star Wars content to talk about. I'm not putting that on here. We'll have 2 hours of Star Wars content to talk about on this next Tuesday. So I'm very excited about that. Garrison, where can people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at GRyfun3, GRYFUN3. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You can find me on Letterboxd at GRyfun. You can find me on the Deucecast Discord, and maybe you can hear Fat Medic. What's up?
Oh, maybe he shows up at the very end.
Yeah, maybe he's been here the whole time. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe you can hear me on a certain podcast tomorrow.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Whenever that comes out.
It will hopefully be coming out tomorrow. It depends on if Dave's working on it right now. It will hopefully be coming out tomorrow. But Garrison came on to help us out because life has slowed me down on my ability to watch movies. I have not been able to keep up with the pace that I had last year.
No, of course not.
Which was not my intention at all this year anyways, but my pace has slowed down to maybe only like 3 or 4 in a month, which is very odd for me. And I hope to pick that pace up a little bit as we go on into the summer, because there's a lot of summer movies coming out. Like on streaming, on screen, on the big screen, a ton of stuff is coming out this summer. So I will be forced to pick up the pace on the amount of movies I watch. But Dave, myself, and Dr. Earl, we didn't have enough movies to talk about, so we brought Garrison on to help us fill in the gaps. It was a really fun episode. We talked about Top Gun a lot. There was a good Top Gun segment in there. So I'm looking.
I watched the original for the first time. So.
Yeah. So that was really fun. Fatmatic, you're doing good, man. I mean, that's good. You're at the pace that you should be.
I'm at 40 something. So,
I mean, I'm still like I had a good like first quarter of the year, but I've slowed down. I'm still like at 60 something, but I've slowed down substantially. Well, Garrison, I appreciate you coming on and doing this. I thought maybe we were going to have some more guests, but we did not, and that's fine. Not a problem. We were going to maybe just do Celebration memories or something like that, but that was fine. We had a good conversation here. Talked about Celebration, talked about some trailers that came out. So no way. Roth at 123 already?
No, he's been doing a lot this year. So
Roth, good job, buddy. I'm impressed, my friend. So with YouTube, obviously, it helps if you share the episode. We need subscribers. We're trying to get to that coveted number of 100 so we can have our own unique URL that will help us to share the show a little bit easier than the random URL that you get without that. So if if you want to share it, definitely like it. That helps with the YouTube algorithm a little bit. And subscribe if for some reason you already haven't. That'd be great. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed, then give us a subscription. That would help us out a lot. So that is it for this evening, but we will be back next week to talk about Obi-Wan. So I hope everybody has a great evening, and thanks so much to the chat as always for participating. It really makes it fun for us, and so I really appreciate you guys following along live, and we will see you next week.